week I tried to break down what my job actually is here at Ashville. I have to accept that I've dropped the ball and Ashville staff may need training, and I give my take on bad experiences, negative energy, and RAAC Concrete. I'm Daniel and it's Ashville Weekly, episode 153. It's Monday morning, I'm on the way into the yard. A good client of ours in West London is taking a 9-ton machine this morning. So we're going to offload the machine, but before the machine goes into the site, the grab needs to take a load of muck out.
My brother, you look a lot older than me.
What was the show you went to yesterday?
We went to Greenford, Daniel, and I represented you at Greenford.
And you were winding fellas up saying, you lot are finished, my mate Daniel's taken over West London. Why would you say that?
It helps us progress in our business.
But you have a depot in West London. Why didn't you say you? Why have you got to say me?
Because you're my mate and I'm out of the job. Now you're a famous name in West London after yesterday.
How's it going?
Working from home.
Working from home. There's no way your lorries have done a load yet. They're all still sat in the yard drinking tea.
No, they're not. They've all gone. I checked on that bright and early this morning before I closed my eyes again.
I hope you ain't wearing my t-shirt because it's Monday morning and you're not in the yard. I cannot believe this. It's Monday morning and Michael O'Donovan didn't make it to the yard. You must have had 2 Stella yesterday.
Hey! Good mate, bye.
And he says that I am half man, half mattress. Now, something which is in the news at the moment and people keep asking me about is this RAAC Concrete. Not to be confused with the ready-mix concrete that you see us doing on volumetric mixers or what you see others doing in bottle mixers. This is an aerated concrete. When you look at it, it kind of looks like an aero bar. It's got like a honeycomb finish. Now, this RAAC concrete, this is beams. Like the beams are completely encased. This product is extremely light and cheap to make, but it has a 30-year lifespan. Now, everybody knew it had a 30-year lifespan at the time it was made and installed. This has been used because it's very cheap to make, and it meant that the structural walls around it did not need to be as structurally capable because the roof of the building wouldn't have been as heavy. So it was used so they could build quickly and cheaply to create schools and hospitals. This was done in the 80s and 90s, and here we are 30 to 40 years later, and the product has begun to fail. Everybody knew it had a 30-year lifespan at the time it was installed. So what needs to happen is these beams need to be taken out, replaced, and the roofs of the buildings need to be redone. If you're on the roof and you see like pooling, like you see small puddles of water, or if you can get up to the beam level and have a look and see if they're sagging internally. What happens, because of the honeycomb finish, if they're not protected, water gets into the little holes and it does one of 2 things. It can rust the steel inside, but it can also, when it gets heavy, begin to sag. The point here is that they had a 30-year lifespan and they served the purpose. It meant that the government could build schools and hospitals cheaper. So I think in a lot of these establishments, skilled teams are going to need to go around and have a look and assess how much life the product has left in it, and in some cases replace. And I can see on the camera there is a cement delivery.
But the only thing which he changed is like those trucks in the poker room.
Yeah.
So this is fine. We would add a couple downlights here.
Yeah.
Maybe to serve this area.
Oh yeah.
This truck will no go, obviously, because we got AC unit.
Yeah.
We'll stop somewhere here. Why don't we just build a truck with rectangular here and just keep it, dimmed and so on. We would add a couple lights here, obviously cinema room and so on. That's
pretty straightforward, yeah.
Pretty straightforward. And the bathrooms, I've sent them all the renders, and they're gonna try to. I told them just try to stick it to the renders. I think this was most challenging for him. Obviously the kitchen area. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 lines.
Not going to have as many spotlights, are we?
You've already suggested 1 line here.
Yeah.
They're going to put on a computer and they will tell us.
So they're going to work out, based on a computer generation of how much lumen of light is needed in the area.
1 chandelier in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And then he said maybe 1 line of strip on one side, so
Yeah.
it can illuminate this entrance to the bathroom.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And then a couple on the other side. This wave, he said we need to speak with structure engineer.
I will get the engineer to look at it, but I just need him to design it so I can get them to approve it. So the client has agreed that they like the ribbon feature on the stairs, but they want us to continue the feature across the landing. The trouble is the first floor landing slab is straight. So we need the fabricator to create a curved base for us, which can bolt into the existing first floor slab. We drill the slab and we attach a rebar and we put ply beneath. We can pour some concrete, so this will fill the gap. Then we'll use the steel uprights, which are connected to the curved base, and use a 6mm MDF, which can curve on both sides. And then we'll have the ribbon finish, which we can decorate in any color the client likes. All right, so what we're doing is, all the time the cutaways we're using aren't meds. We had the stun double in before. Now we got meds here. We're actually filming the cutaways, so meds will be in the cutaways. I actually did that quite good, bro. Boy, this man's putting his stun double out of a job. I might have to stop paying for all these subscriptions. At the £15 million house today, we continue with the world's most expensive bench as I continue to burn money as we make substantial losses, but it will be perfect in the end. While we do that, we're also going to start doing the mosaics around the hot tub. And once we've done that, we need to paint the face of the tiles. We can't have a light like we're doing on the swimming pool because it doesn't overlap as much. So we need to just paint it so it's a black finish so it matches the mosaics. I'm having a sales meeting with Sam and he's brought the big guy in with him today, Ashville Day Care. I did want to lock him in the gym, but then I thought he might get too hencher than me. So I'm going to find out now what the young man has sold today. Nothing. No sand, no aggregate, no concrete. You didn't sell anything. I would expect the son of a salesman to have sold something by now, mate.
If we get an order reference from somebody that has a purchase order to cover the job, easy. Long as you put that purchase order number in that box, every time a job's created, that PO pulls through. You can say, this customer, X, can only trade with a purchase order number.
I'm thinking of training. I'm thinking of doing half a day of training.
Because I'm thinking of not training, because I know you're thinking of training.
Half the office do half a day, the other half the office do the other half a day. Learn to use the system properly. This is my fault. I didn't provide training.
I don't think we know how to use the system at its full capacity.
Are you doing the training, young man?
What training?
The training on the new system. Are you going to do it?
Yes.
How many days of training do you think you need?
I don't know.
Each day costs me a lot of money, so I'd prefer you to just do half a day. Do you think half a day's training would work for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. We got a train coming in on Thursday. Do you think you're capable of offloading that train?
Yeah.
You do, yeah? boy, rah. Flo's going to be out of a job. Why aren't you at school today?
Because I start school on Thursday.
Ah, so what you're saying is you would have offloaded the train, but you got school on Thursday, so you can't offload the train. Is it? No, so you can still come and offload the train. Do you know what it is? I don't want to get in trouble with your teachers or your mum. So you're going to have to go to school on Thursday, but next time in summer holidays, you can come in and offload the train, all right?
Yeah.
Do you know what that is? I've never let anyone else put this on, yeah? I'm going to allow you to put this on. It's good, isn't it? All right, don't get too accustomed. Yeah,
That's mad.
I think that I've dropped the ball a bit. Ashville members of staff trained other Ashville members of staff, and the manufacturer hasn't come in and carried out training to teach everyone fully. You live and you learn. Next time round, or when other people start at Ashville, I will provide them with the correct training. It's Tuesday morning. I'm not in the yard. I'm down by London Bridge. I was just filming an advert for the TV show At the Shard with National Geographic. It will be out in 9 days, but in real time, it'll be out much sooner because this has a 2-week delay. They sent a car for me. I've come down here, I've done some filming, and because we're ahead of schedule, I'm heading back to do the rest of the radio bits on a Zoom. You've seen Manny in the past. He worked with us at Sticker Man's house and at the £15 million house. He does some of our groundwork and our rear gardens. Well, he is reciprocating the business, and we are about to do a grab for him. Just on the way back now, finished all my bits, and I've realised that by the time you watch this, Building Impossible with Daniel Ashville will already be out. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, it's on Sky Channel 129, on Virgin Media 266. You can go on to, the planner, and you can find it and download it if you missed it. So by the time you're watching it, 2 episodes are already out because this is 2 weeks behind. I've been telling you a bit about the Central London project and creating a wild card for the client. We have here option 1. Now this is the standard option, what they wanted to do. Option 2 has a few changes. Option 3, the main change, we've created an open plan living and kitchen area by removing a structural wall. The wild card, option 4, we take the kitchen and we swap it with the bedroom. So now across the front of the property with access to the terrace, you have an open plan living and kitchen with the bedrooms at the back. Also, if you look in the bottom right corner, that is a fireplace you can see. We've also taken that out and we've made the opening bigger. And if you look between the 2 bifolds, we've also put in some structural work to remove the supporting walls and make that opening bigger also. Let's see what the client says when they get a chance to go through it. I need to answer something what people keep asking me. What is a townie and who is my townie? So if you're in Ireland, and someone calls you a townie, that means you're from a city. In England, if you call someone your townie, it means they're from the same town as you in Ireland. The next one is, who do I keep calling my townie and who is my townie? The very skilled gentleman, best fitter in London, who repairs all the bins, worked on the skip boat, who fixes all the lorries, the man who can fix anything. Skilled in welding, skilled in electrics, skilled in mechanics. Michael O'Donovan calls him my townie. So I've just adopted the name and called him my townie. But of course, while I love Ireland, I am not from Ireland. So that's a townie, and that's who I call my townie. It's Wednesday morning. I'm on the way to the yard. Something popped his head up. A company or person within a company, without being too specific, it's just a bad experience with someone. This happens on your personal life and your business life. And I often hear people, they go off on this mad tangent of everything they're going to do and how they're going to mess up what the person's doing and the person's going to regret it and this, that, the other. First and foremost, we all like to vent from time to time. But when you actually sit and think about it, behaving like that and going after somebody in order to seek revenge or prove them wrong, it is a waste of energy. And trying to get back at someone who you've had a bad business experience with or bad personal experience with, negative and negative does not make positive. And the time you spend pursuing it and holding on to it, a lot of the time, you're the only one holding on to this. The person has the freedom of the situation because they've done what they've done and they've moved on. My advice is, if you had a bad experience with someone in business or personally, draw a line under it, learn from the lesson, and do not deal with them. Do not invest your valuable time, resource, and energy running down some rabbit hole, chatting utter garbage of all the things you're going to do and want to do and how you're going to mess them up, because you're only messing yourself up and you're only wasting your time. Destroying someone else or getting back at them will make you happy momentarily. Then you're back to being you. And what you've done to that person doesn't define who you are and how happy you are. And if you really, really want to show that person that they made a mistake by crossing you or you want to show them that you don't need them personally or in business, the best thing you can do is be happy yourself and get on with what you're doing humbly and genuinely do well so you have a smile on your face. I don't mean just make it up and smile and really you're crying on the inside like a clown. I mean genuinely take the time to work on yourself, work on your business, work on your profession, work on your family, wherever it is you're working on. Genuinely be happy. Negative and negative does not make positive. On the road again? Having a rant again? In the car again? We have a delivery of cement. See, Cimex have a shiny new 460 Volvo. Looking down the bottom, I think I can only see the flatbed parked up. I assume because Ben is on holiday and we don't have a driver for it. And it looks like all the rest of the lorries are out and the yard is looking spotless. Terry's had to step out the office because the new air conditioning is so cold that he nearly caught cold. There's not a lot of lorries in the yard.
No.
Busy?
Not. Yeah, we're flat out.
How many we got having MOTs and repairs?
1.
You saw a couple of weeks back we were talking about people undercutting us and stuff. There's a new term that I've learned and we do it, but we haven't got a term for it. But here's the term for it. Tell you know what the term is?
Sure.
Our walkaway rate, which means that this is the rate that we give and you can call and say,
everybody's doing it cheaper.
But this is our walkaway rate. I'm sorry, you are valued, but we cannot go any lower than this because we're not even breaking even, we're losing money. What are we doing with the blocks?
The order came on and he paid from up front.
Boy, a man's buying 60 blocks and he paid up front. We're getting a bit frantic in the yard. But Terry, we will dismantle every bay in this yard before we let that man down. You might think we're giving him a used one. No. We're not giving him a used one. We're giving him one which has had more time to cure. So it's stronger.
It's tested.
It's tested and it definitely works. It's holding up all this material. Terry and I are just talking about a job where there's good material coming out of it and we're taking that material to someone else who requires it. But sometimes people think that there's dirty material coming out of a job, but it's not. It's when they're trying to stockpile the gear and they're using the machine, probably with a ditching bucket on, and they're scraping the floor. But when they do that, you can get like big rocks and other stuff that weren't necessarily meant to be in the load, but the consistency is what, 5% tell? You need to take a look at it and ask the site to segregate it, and maybe they've got some hand pickers to just pick the bits out. Then the load is a lot cleaner and then it can go straight to the destination who requires it, and maybe we can get a little payment for it. Nice.
That would be nice.
We had a tyre that had a tear in it but not to cords.
Okay.
And instead of throwing the tyre away with like probably 12, 13 mil,
Yeah.
we were able to use tyre seal, which you leave for a few hours to set.
Yeah.
Once it's fully dry, I was able to buff that back off now
Okay.
and make that look like a new tyre, or at least that there's hardly any damage.
Okay.
And it's passable, like a few we've done there.
Yeah.
Similar in the treads when we have it.
How are we getting on with the punctures?
Punctures have been quite busy. 4 to 5 recuts I'm going to do there.
So the repair you're seeing we're doing to the tyre, our tyre fitter's got 30 years experience. He's saying that's the same tyre that a tyre company would take away and send it off for a major repair themselves and then clean it up for presentation and then sell it back to us. So we're doing those repairs in-house to save on money, you know, reduce our carbon footprint as well. And once it's all done, then we obviously check it over for quality control. And if it's good, it goes back on the road and everyone's a winner. Robin Hood and Little John running through the forest, laughing back and forth what they ever had to say. Doing this and this and that and having such a good time. Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day. Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day. A green screen has arrived for some promo I have to do. Not like I don't have things doing, but there's a green screen in my office, so I'm going to use it. Right about now, I like to be somewhere tropical, because I'm a tropical people. Put me somewhere where I love being. Don't be smart and put me in the yard. Yeah, don't be clever, because I could just walk in the yard myself. I would like to be somewhere cold. Antarctica will do me. All right, you would think that I didn't have nothing doing with myself, you know. Right, time to film the brand deal. Get a plumb. Get a hub. What? Get a hub of employment, law, and health and safety. It's Thursday, and I'm in the yard. I'm sat at my desk. This morning we have an 80-meter concrete pour. Now Connor was on the way to film it, but he has a flat tire, so Sam is going to try and film it himself on his phone. Hopefully Sam can capture a few good shots for a montage. We are pouring 4 foundations. Now there are footings to the front of the site which the lorry can access directly, but there are ones which are at the back of the site which the lorry cannot get to as they are on a steep bank. For the areas which the lorry couldn't reach using its chutes, the site rented a concrete pouring bucket attachment for their excavator. I'm about to go onto a Zoom with New Zealand Trucking Magazine. My interview will then be available on Trucking Radio 24/7, also available in New Zealand.
Hi, I'm Dave McCoy, New Zealand Trucking Media, and we've got a very, very special, and I'm talking very special guest, Daniel LOUISY, better known as Ashville Aggregates.
Thank you for having me. What an honor to be here, and what great pronunciation of my surname.
Look, I've got 10 out of 10 before we even start.
Originally working on refurbishments, basements, loft conversions, extensions. Around 2012, we couldn't get the service for waste management and supplying material. Bought our first truck. I drove the truck myself. We bought an 8x4 grab lorry. It was a DAF CF85 with an Epsilon 120 crane on it. Took away the earth from the basement digs and supplied our construction projects with material. We didn't get any basement digs for 2 years, but that forced me to go out to people who I used to tender against. And then we began to provide truck services and waste management and aggregate supply as a separate business away from construction. So the two grew individually.
Somewhere along the line, you decided to involve social media in your transport journey, or was that also in your building journey? Did you just transfer from one to the other, or was that very much a transport thing?
I kind of wanted to showcase the how-to and our finished projects. Like, this is a project we finished. This is how we did it. These are some of our clients. Very proud of, our end product and the work we've done. Regarding the transport, waste management, and our concrete and all those services, that industry is a bit harder to get into, and a lot of our competition are like 3rd generation. So I wanted to showcase what we did and people to know who we were. Zoom done, and as I look over, I see that the train is now backing into the yard. Heading down into the yard. It is an awfully hot day outside. It is about 30 degrees, but I'm not complaining because I am a tropical people. The demolition job, which I went to look at on Saturday, David sent that quote out this morning, and you heard me saying the other day that I needed to provide the staff here with more training on the system we put in place, because it wasn't fair that I put it on Terry to teach others. And now that training, which I was going to do as half a day for half the office, half a day for the other half of the office, I've now decided that I will split the office in half next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, and each half of the office will do a whole day. Now, instead of people just covering areas like the sales team doing the quotes and the jobs, they are going to do a full run through all the way to the invoicing, how we generate invoices, so they have a better understanding. But then the accounts team, instead of them just doing the invoicing, they're going to do the entire process, including the quotes and the jobs as well, so they have a full understanding. So everybody in the office is on the same level playing field, and they all understand, I would say, consequences and the actions they take, how it affects other people who do the next part or the part before their job. And therefore, if there's an issue, they can possibly go back and correct, and they can see where things went wrong. That's the plan anyway. It's Friday and I'm in the yard. Yesterday you saw us offload the train, but what I didn't have a chance to tell you because I was so busy is that the train came 2.5 hours late because of a signalling issue. Now, the train was going to leave after we had offloaded 6 or 7 wagons, but the train operator managed to get an extension until today. So the train has stayed here all night and the train is going to be leaving today. A gap was left in the train so we can get in and out of the yard. So as you can see, there's plenty of people loading, going out to work, and it doesn't affect us at the moment. What does affect me is when I stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning working, trying to schedule emails, being responsible, trying to make sure that no one's ever waiting on me. And I've come in today and everything has just gone horribly wrong. I had an 8 o'clock, which sent an email saying that can they reschedule. My 8:45 didn't show up, and my 10 o'clock asked to move to Monday. It just goes to show, all you really have control over is what you're doing. But I can comfortably say that nobody is waiting on me for anything. Owen Cronin is back for a meeting. You saw this man in Ashville Weekly when we were in MP Moran's. There was a prompt in a video what made him jump in the car and drive around to us. For clarity, before this man says it, I would say the first, don't be smart, I would say the first 20 to 30 quotes that Ashville ever did, I did on that man's floor on his coffee table. We would order a Chinese.
But I will pay for
it. No, he didn't pay for it. I paid for the Chinese. The man, he wouldn't give you last year's calendar. He's that tight. And all the terminology I learnt for building materials, 4x2, sawn timber, C24 grade, 12.5 mil, straight edge plasterboard, 9 mil hardy backing, bracket cement board. Owen Cronin from MP Moran's taught me. And first builders merchants to give me an account and give me a tray. They made me sign a personal guarantee, but you have to believe in yourself if you want people to believe in you.
Correct.
All right? When this man calls for an audience, I have to drop what I'm doing and give him an audience.
Where do you go for your bathrooms, kitchens, stuff like that?
There's one of two ways of doing it. We can either buy stock kitchen carcasses with like handleless white doors or and then a stone worktop.
Yeah.
Like as a nice blend. We don't normally do the unit shifting flats anymore unless it's a rental property of somebody that we've done a big house for and it's an existing client. Other than that, it will just be a completely bespoke kitchen.
High end.
Yeah.
Okay, and would you spec the stuff?
Everything. I spec everything. Watford branch director.
And then
they'll give anyone a job these days. I was taking a bulk bag as a sample and showing him around the yard, showing him that we got the good stuff in here.
You've got a good range.
And hopefully we'll be delivering into Moran soon, and Moran's will be delivering into the Ashville site soon as well.
Teamwork, extreme work.
Saturday, we're in the yard, taking off the sides off the lorry. These are what they call greedy boards. They are boards to ensure that when you've got a material on which is slightly bigger, it's more volume, that when you turn the corner on a roundabout, the material doesn't fall off. So we're just stacking them up here. Nice. Work on Monday is with material like type 1 and sand, which isn't a large volume like the 6C you've seen in the past, or large stones with no fines. So we can take this off. The trouble is, if you leave those on the lorry the whole time and you go to a muck away job, the machine driver just overloads the lorry because he feels what he can see. We need to put our best foot forward and we need to manage the situation. So we're taking them all off. Is there a problem, or you think we just need to regas it?
Just gas.
We get that address, man. Flo's just telling me that the aircon isn't working in the LH60, but I think it just needs to be regassed because it is pushing out air, but the air's not cold. That reminds me, someone said the other day...
What do you do when you're there? Surely the company runs itself.
Firstly, the company doesn't run itself. There are a number of people here all working hard on a daily basis who all have to contribute, manage, and some micromanage, some manage, and there is a hierarchy and structure in place. But the company most definitely doesn't run itself. In some ways, the company runs me. But that is a prime example of one of my key roles in this business. Firstly, is to ensure that everybody's safe and then it's to make sure that everybody's comfortable, and it's for me to provide what everybody needs in order to do it to the best of their ability. And then I need to motivate the people who are here. So it's a mix of all of them. You also need to just provide direction. That's one of my key job roles here, and I try. Tyre fitter's not in today. We had a look, we can't see any punctures. Each wheel nut in the entire yard, we go around and we check. Just general maintenance, we're not that busy. There's only like 2 lorries out. Terry's off today, I think he's gone fishing. Hope he has a good day. Yesterday, one of our skip lorries was working in North London, and so we thought to ourselves, why not just tip up in that area? Why come all the way back to West London to tip at one of the local places? And of course, Michael can't just let the lorry tip. He's got to talk garbage.
Look at this here, look who I've got here, look. This is gonna cost you. Ain't cheap to tip skips in North London. And what are you doing on my manor? This driver's being helped against his will now. He's off, he's gone. He's done for. We might cut this old motor up, use it for parts. He's gone, he's finished. And this is gonna come to a lot of money to tip this. There you go, look at it, look, I got you now.
Sunday morning, and I'm not in the yard. My mum's away at the moment in St. Lucia, and I've popped round to hers to set up the record of the show, which is going to be out on Thursday, just to make sure that Mumsy gets the series recorded so she can see her boy in action. And that's it for Ashville Weekly episode 153. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see an Ashville video you may not have seen before, and click here for last week's episode, which was number 152.